Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about the Astro AI 6-liter mini fridge. I've got one and I'm going to do something a little different than most folks do on YouTube. Instead of kind of showing you a video of it, because there's plenty of those out there, I want to talk to you about the experience I've had with it. How fast did it cool? What I did to measure the temperature and the humidity inside, and a couple of observations I made, and then kind of you use your own choice as to whether you want to get one or not. And I'll leave some links down in the description for both the products I'm going to talk about. So the first one, of course, is the Astro AI 6-liter mini fridge. It comes in various sizes and colors. This is the 6-liter one, and it's supposed to hold 8 cans or other things. And I've right now got some lunch meat and some cheese and a can of soda inside. And it seems to be working pretty darn well. So let me tell you how it went. I'm also going to talk about something on the lower left there that says SensorPush. That is a fantastic sensor that works with an app on your phone that measures temperature, and I'll show you some screenshots. You really ought to take a look at this thing and see how neat it is if you're interested in monitoring any temperatures. So on the Astro AI Mini Fridge, on the back, you'll see a control panel. On the bottom, you'll see it goes either 120 volt wall current or 12 volt. And it comes with those two cords that you can see on the right. The one on the top is for the wall current, and the one on the bottom is for the automobile that goes into the power plug. And you'll notice on the right side, the warm and cool setting. That comes with its own red light and green light, which is pretty obvious. I haven't tried the warm, but it does go up to 150 degrees Fahrenheit for warmth. And on the cool, that's what I'm going to talk about. You'll also notice up above in the picture is an inlet fan. That's where it draws in the cold or the ambient air, the room temperature air. And then I'll show you a picture in a minute of where it blows it out the side on 2 vents. So what about the temperature drop? I wanted to check a couple things. So on the right, I've got a screenshot from my SensorPush. I basically started about 8:30, I think it was in the morning. No, it was about 8:50, 8:55. So when it first started, it was reading the room temperature, which was about 73 degrees. The room humidity, which is another feature of SensorPush, it measures, was down around 37%. Now, I don't generally use the humidity plot very much, but it is kind of interesting to see what happens when you open the mini fridge door and that kind of thing. So it looks to me, if you look at the graph, I thought this was going to cool in about 30 minutes. Actually, the elapsed time it took to reach the stable temperature was about 90 minutes. It went from about 9 a.m. when I closed the door and just let it sit there to stabilization around 10:30, 10:45. You'll notice where the temperature is. It's 43.7. So the SensorPush people say this thing could last, could cool from 30 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit below the ambient room temperature. And if you look at that that chart there, 73 minus 40 would be 33. Didn't get there. 73 minus 30 would be 43, and it did get there. So it's doing what it's advertised to do. Now, I thought in terms of a refrigerator, I'd feel a lot safer if the temperatures were like 35 to 38 or 40 Fahrenheit, just for food safety. But that's a decent thing. I mean, it doesn't claim to really be a refrigerator. It's more of a chiller, a cold box, if you will, and it seems to work pretty good at doing that. The manual does suggest that you can enhance the cooling, get it down quicker if you throw, a few cans of already chilled soda from the refrigerator. So that's what I saw when I first started working it. I have a few observations on noise and a few other things. So on the upper right, you see that grill picture again. It remains relatively cool. And what I did is I put my hand against it and I felt the airflow going into that. I mean, really, it's nothing but a mild breeze on the back of your hand. You can barely feel it. Then on the picture where I've got my thermometer pointing where it says 81 degrees, on each side there's a grill that takes the air that went in the back, and through the cooling process, it has to lose heat. It blows the heat out to the side. And depending on where I pointed that infrared sensor, it was between 80 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit coming out. Now that sounds hot, but it really isn't. I mean, it's not much hotter than the heater in your house might be. It's below body temperature, so it actually feels kind of cool. But it is warm, and if you have a smaller room like I do, you'll find that before long, the room's getting a little bit warmer than you want. And see, what happens is when the room goes up, it starts like at 72 in the morning. The sun's coming through the window. The air conditioner's not necessarily doing the greatest job in your room. And this thing's blowing the 80 or 90 degree air in. By the end of the day, my room's up to 77. So now you take the 30 degrees off, and now you've got like 43. I have to do math really quick. So the noise, it's really not noisy at all. It's very quiet. I use the Audio Bell app on my phone. And as you can see, depending on how close I got it, and whether I kind of pointed it right near the grill or a little off to the side, it had a range starting from 40 going up to 70. At the time I took that screenshot, it was around 51. It actually sounds like if you've ever had a humidifier or a mister going in your room, like when you have a head cold or something, it's just kind of a constant white noise. So it's not really annoying. I haven't found it distracting at all. The fan does run at one speed. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down, and it doesn't shut off when it gets to a certain temperature because it's always trying to cool. You can see in the lower picture, well, you can see the SensorPush sensor sitting there, but it's on a nice shelf. It's a very sturdy shelf. It fits very well. In the Astro AI fridge, it can be removed, so taller items can go in there. At the bottom, you'll see a little condensate tray. I have not noticed any condensation inside mine, but the idea is as it drips down, it fills that little tray, and then you can pull that tray right out and dry it. So of course you want to keep it dry so it doesn't start to maybe get grody or moldy or anything, but it's really clean after a few days of use. I haven't seen any moisture in there at all. Let's see, the SensorPush. Now this is what I really like. You can see it sitting in there on that condensate tray right next to my lunch meat. It's accurate, it's affordable. I've been using these for about 3 years now. It comes with a free app. It sends its signal through Bluetooth, so it's within Bluetooth range, and I found it easily goes through 2 floors of a 2-story building. You can also get a gateway if you want to use it and have it hooked to your internet, and then goes out to the internet, and then there's a portal you can see on the app. You can see your data right there, but you're not limited to Bluetooth range. You can go anywhere there's internet. You can also set temperature and humidity thresholds to alert you. So let's say you've got it in the freezer, and if the temperature ever gets above a certain range, like 28 degrees Fahrenheit, you want to get an alert or whatever you set it to, and it will pop up on your phone and it'll say it's exceeded a temperature threshold. So low, high, the same. It gives alerts for humidity as well as something else, vapor pressure deficit, which I found is something I'd never heard of, but it has to do with, I think, plants and how much moisture they give off and can take in. And also it has a dew point setting. I'll show you that in a minute. You can put your own sensor name in there. It's editable. So like you want to put, back refrigerator or, basement chiller or freezer or something like that, you can do that. They've had absolutely great customer service whenever I've used them. They've always responded quickly and always willing to help. They've got good help information not only in the app but on their website, and it has a really long battery life. I found I could get mine at least a year in most cases to use. It's a 3-volt battery, and when it starts getting down around 2.5 or 2.3, it'll start throwing alerts at you saying it's getting close to being out of battery. Good thing is you just pop that thing open, slide in a CR2477 battery, and I'll put a link to that one below. There's a nice multi-pack that I got off of Amazon, and I have that thing fixed in about 4 or 5 minutes tops. So I just like that thing. I just thought I'd share it because not too many people know about it. This is the settings. I had this one called spare, so it's called spare settings, but you can turn on temperature alerts, humidity, dew point, and VPD. You can set a high-low temperature. You can tell it to alert you. You can even calibrate it. It comes very well calibrated. I've never had to do that, but you can calibrate it. If you know you're at a certain temperature and it's reading off, you can click the plus and minus to get that thing to read exactly what you want it to read. So, you know, that's the screen for setting that. It's really, really easy to use. Now, if you go back to the Astro AI fridge, this is the reading over quite a few days. You can see that first day we started it around 73. It dropped right off. There were a couple of door opens and door closes. That little dip right where it says zero point 0.6 degrees, where it says 44.6, that little dip between the 6 and the F, that's where I dropped a a bag of ice cubes in there just to see if it would help chill it anymore. So then it dropped down, it got down to right around 38 for quite a while, and then in the midday it started to pop back up again as the room got warmer. But you can see the average over that period of time was 44 degrees, so not too bad. Relative humidity changes a bit when you open the door, and also depending on the air inside and the temperature, the relative humidity is going to look different. You probably never even think about that, but you know, that's right there on the app if you want that information. So in summary, it's called a 6-liter mini fridge. I think it's supposed to hold 8 cans. It's sort of a fridge. Well, not only does it cool, it heats up to 150 degrees. I can't imagine how or why I would ever use it that way, but it can do that. It's solidly built. It's not heavy. It's got these nice rubberized feet so it doesn't slip around. The fan noise is really not too bad. It kind of reminds me of a room vaporizer. It's very well crafted. It has a removable shelf and a condensation tray. It does expel warm air from the side vents, so you might get a smaller space starting to warm up. Might not be a bad thing to have during the winter, though. That advertised 30 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit drop actually seems to work. And I would just ask that you do consider food safety at the temperature it's holding, which is another reason why I recommend you get the SensorPush, because you know, right there, anytime you wonder how cold is that thing really, and of course cool air settles. So if you put the SensorPush on the bottom, it's going to read a certain temperature, and if you raise it up to the shelf or somehow prop it up near the top, you're going to get a slightly warmer temperature, but you would expect that. So just consider food safety when you're doing this. I'm going to put links down below, and there's going to be one for the mini fridge. There's going to be one for the SensorPush. And I just want to be full disclosure, I'm an Amazon associate. That doesn't mean anything fancy other than if you use the links that are in the video below in the description, I do get a small commission, and it's a small commission from Amazon, but it's appreciated. And that helps me kind of keep things running. You don't have to use the link at all, but it's no cost to you. It's just the same price and everything. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, write them in the comments below, and I'll be checking them out and get back to you.